You are listening to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Shanel Scott. I'm a psychic medium and energy healer who has been supporting those on a spiritual journey for over a decade. I'm your tour guide into the world of the unknown, showing you that the magic of the universe is at your fingertips. I believe spirituality is simple and fun, and this podcast will make it easily accessible, giving you the real talk on all things divine and spiritual, helping you to step into the flow, manifesting your dreams because we all deserve to be living our best life. Are you ready for an adventure? Hello, sunshines, and welcome to a new episode of Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. My name is Shanel Scott. I am your host and your spiritual tour guide on this journey we call life. I live in southwestern Ontario, and across Canada, it is time for back to school. This is colleges, universities, high schools, elementary schools, private schools, you name it. It is time to go back to school around here. So I wanted to dedicate an episode to this because there are so many things coming up for me. And this can be a really hard time of year for people, especially parents. I have so many friends this year who I think my feed has just been filled with dropped my kid off, dropped my kid off, dropped my kid off. So many people have dropped kiddos off for their first year of college or university. I am in that boat, although I don't get to drop mine off. He's staying here, which I appreciate. But my middle son is starting college in a few days. I've already kind of gone through this to a certain extent. My oldest is out of the house already. He is in the Canadian military, and he transitioned to that right after high school practically. There was a bit of a gap year because of COVID. It took a really long time for his application to be processed. And I spent just over a year with him being out in Alberta and not close, but now he's about a 6-hour drive away, and he's been there for about 2 years. And I recently got to go up and see where he lives, and it was an absolutely amazing weekend. But, you know, as we come up on this start of the school year, I'm really seeing like both ends of things. When my kids were little, and being a single mom, you know, back to school was like a really important time for me because we moved back into a routine. We moved back into structure. You know, I had days again to myself for working. I wasn't juggling work as much and juggling kids as much because things were kind of like go back to status quo. And I would always joke, you know, on the first day of school, my kids have always taken the bus to school, always. We've always lived just that far enough away from school. And I always tease that, you know, I do the happy dance. Although the last couple of years, you know, they're in high school and they are like, you're not walking us to the bus stop, which I don't, because, you know, I don't want to be that mom. I don't want to embarrass them. But, you know, that was really important to me. That first day of school was so special. It was the starting of a new year. The kids were always excited. We'd always make sure there was extra special snacks, and they had back to school outfits and all those things. And this year it's completely different. This year, you know, we're looking at bus passes and student cards and student insurance and the books that he needs to buy, which was so different than the military who just gives you everything. So it's just a really different experience. And for me this year too, my daughter is doing school in Woodstock for a fresh start. So I kind of am feeling a little bit like an empty nester, and it feels really different this September. But what I wanted to talk about was you know, can we honor our feelings and emotions? Those mamas who are taking their kids to the first day of preschool or daycare or kindergarten, those are really special moments. You know, wear your sunglasses so you can cry your eyes out. Make sure you do something to take care of yourself on the first day. It's hard. And I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's not. It is. It's big. It's big. Even dropping my last one off at kindergarten for the first time was hard. I knew it was my last kindergarten drop off. So it is difficult. So whether you are starting as an empty nester this year or you're taking your kid to the first day of kindergarten, preschool, maybe high school, parents, can you honor your feelings? But then the other side of this is I want to say, please don't put your feelings on your children. I've worked with kids for a lot of years in a lot of different capacities. Teaching dance, teaching yoga, teaching day camps, and even in a private school as an administrator. And I see this over and over and over again. We as parents put our energy on our children. So we need to be mindful about what we are bringing to the table to make sure that we are not affecting the way that they are thinking, feeling, or reacting because of us. Just the other day, I heard he's super shy and and instantly the kid changed. I see it in my dance classes where I'm just hand them to me and go out the door. There's a camera. Let me just snuggle them for a second. And the next thing you know, they're dancing and playing and having fun. But our own anxieties of handing our child over, our own anxieties of, are they going to make friends? Are they going to be happy? Are they going to socialize? Are they going to learn? Is there anything wrong with them? What if they get sick? Don't worry. Don't worry. When we're holding that huge bag of worry and we're carrying it with us as we're taking our child to school, they start to feel it. They can feel our heaviness. They can feel the weight of our emotions. And I'm not saying don't be emotional. That's not it. But just be mindful of what you're putting on your child and what you are saying in front of your child. My girlfriend and I were just having a conversation. Her daughter found out her classroom and isn't happy about who her classroom teacher is because she really loves the other classroom teacher, not that the one she got is a bad teacher. She just really, really loves the other teacher. She had her previously, and we had this conversation out of earshot. We had this conversation very quietly, very far out of earshot, so that we could process and we could deal with those emotions and hold space for a little girl who was very upset. Doing that, taking our own stuff and being able to deal with it in a way that we're not dealing with it in front of our children. Because she could have freaked out and was like, well, we'll go and change this. We'll call the school. We'll do this. We'll do that. But she chose to instead process that separately, to just hold space for her daughter to be angry and upset, and to hold space for her own emotions to come out later. And as a parent, yeah, it's hard. It is not an easy job as a parent. We have to hold those things. Do I have anxiety about my kid getting on the bus on time to get to college, which is his own problem? He's an adult practically. But do I have anxiety about that? Yeah, a little bit. And am I trying to not put it on my kid? Yeah, but dear Hamilton, City of Hamilton, could you please fix your website, the library website, and the HSR website? Yeah, I know you got hacked, but it was like a year ago. And if somebody was working on the problem for me and it was taking this long, I would have fired them by now. Sorry, a rant over. But it's really hard when you don't have access to the information. Anyways, like I said, rant over. But again, I can't put my own anxieties on my kid. We shouldn't start saying things like, oh, they have a learning disability, or they don't function well, or they have to go to the bathroom a lot. Our kids are listening. They are listening to us. So how do you want to send your kid to school? Let's stop talking about our fears and start empowering our children instead. Instead of being afraid of who they're going to make friends with, how about you teach them how to introduce themselves to other people in their classroom with confidence? Why don't you teach them how to shake hands or give a high five? How about you talk about how exciting it is to try new things and how you have so many wonderful memories of your own time in kindergarten? Asking your kid constantly, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Sends them a message and maybe triggers them to go, am I okay? Should I be okay? If they're asking me if I'm okay, maybe I'm not supposed to be okay right now. And yeah, our kids might not have that process running in their head so that they cognitively know that's going on. It's really subconscious, but it's there. We need to be mindful as parents to what we are programming our children with. And yeah, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, we are not doing it on purpose. We are simply being human, and that's okay. Moms, dads, it's okay. But really think about how you want to send your little one to school. Teach them how to pack their lunch. Empower them to help you. Empower them to pick out their own outfits so that they feel good every day. Like I said, teach them how to do introductions. Hi, my name is. It's nice to meet you. And yeah, they should. It's that easy. Or hey, do you want to play with me? Let them practice if they're feeling anxious. Allow them to express their emotions and find different ways to do that. I will give a shameless plug right now. My girlfriend just created these amazing card decks called Wildly Mindful. They're all animals with emotions, and this is a perfect, way to work with kids and their emotions. If you recognize that your child is kind of feeling off, maybe that if they looked at the animals in the cards, they could be like, oh, I'm feeling like the elephant. And that will allow them to kind of express things without you having to guide them. If you want more information, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to send you along. I love her Wildly Mindful cards. They're beautiful and easy to use for both adults and kids. But it's having tools. I have a girlfriend, Footprint Designs, and she makes Mommy and Me bracelets for the first day of school. I used to give my kids stones, similar idea, but, giving your child something to take with them. I saw on one of the moms groups the other days, hugs, and they're like a crocheted heart, and it's like a hug that your kid can take with them as well. There is all sorts of things that we can send with them so that they can feel our energy. But I implore you, if you are going to do something like that, I want you to fill your energy onto that item with so much love and excitement and joy and happiness and just kind of firing them up, and don't put your sadness on it, please. Do not put your sadness on it. Do not put your grief, do not put your worry, do not put your concern, but I want you to fill it with all the good stuff. My kids loved having a stone in their pocket, a worry stone, whatever you want to call it, but it was a touchstone for them. When they felt that in their pocket, they knew that I also had one and that I could send them energy. They knew that my energy was on that stone. They knew if they lost it, I would give them another one. There was never this like, oh, it's gone. If it's gone, we'll make a new one. And really, you could pick up a stone off the ground and do it. Like, it doesn't have to be a crystal. It doesn't have to be something elaborate. Mommy and Me bracelets, again, it's a beautiful way to create that energetic connection and to show them, to send them off with something beautiful. We have the opportunity to share as much as we can with our children in a way that sets them up for success. So don't ask them what they're afraid of. Ask them what they're excited about. Ask them what their goals are. Ask them about how they're going to make friends. Ask them about their favorite part of the day. Ask them about their teacher. Create an energy around school that is positive. And really, like I said, I want you to really think about what the energy it is that you are putting out there. If every time you talk to someone in earshot about them starting the first day of school and you talk about how afraid you are and how nervous you are, they are picking it up. They are picking up what you are putting down because they are smart. They are much smarter than we give them credit for. And this is just like your PSA, your gentle reminder, because school is starting this week. And I'm saying this to your kindergartners, your high schoolers, your university and college students. Your energy matters. Your energy matters. So give your kids access to the energy that you are sharing in such a positive way that you are setting them up with an energy that empowers them on that first day of school, that makes them so excited to go back again and again and again. Deal with the problems as they come up. I still laugh for a handful of years. My kids went to a school and the secretary, her name was Candy, and she would call me and she'd be like, "Hey, Shanel, it's Candy. Everything's okay. Don't worry." And I'm like, "I love you." Because it was instantaneous. And it was usually something about, papers that needed to go to school, or Grayson, my middle guy, has a learning disability. So of course there was a little more support and stuff around him, that sometimes I had to do extra appointments and things like that. But I just loved that. I loved that it was always this piece of everybody's okay. And then we'd go on with it. Sometimes they just needed a change of clothes. They got dirty on the playground, had an accident, whatever, right? But I always appreciated that, because it was like when you see the school number pop up on your phone, you go into panic mode, and she would instantly diffuse it. So I guess what I want to leave you with is a whole lot of mama love today. All the mama love that encourages you and empowers you to be the best version of yourself for your kids. And I'm not saying that we're screwing our kids up, because we are. Let's be honest. Every kid probably needs therapy at the end. I'm sure mine have done therapy. We have to let go of that part of it. But we do need to embrace the fact that we have such an important role. And it's important to think about things that we don't necessarily, bring to the surface all the time. And those conversations, like I said, having conversations about how nervous, how scared, how worried you are is not helpful in front of your little people. And, talk about those things as far away from them as possible. Put as much space in between you and them when you're having those conversations. And your feelings are valid. Mamas, dads, your feelings are valid. They're very valid. I am not disregarding your feelings. I'm just asking you not to put your feelings and emotions onto your kids to create problems for them that they didn't have until you created it. Again, I am not pointing fingers. I am not blaming people. I am not saying you're screwing up your kids. I'm just asking you to pay attention. Okay, so here's the thing about this. This is not just about sending your kids to school. This is about life in general. And these things that I'm talking about also relate back to you. Yes, to you. When you hear someone say, "Oh, well, they got handed that project. I hope they don't screw it up," what happens? All of a sudden you have anxiety and stress that you didn't have 5 minutes ago when you got handed that project, and you're like, "I can do this with 2 hands tied behind my back. I have this confidence," and then somebody says something stupid and suddenly you have none. It's the same thing. So not only are we setting up our children for success and we are teaching them things that will help them to grow and evolve, we are also reminding ourselves of the power of our own thoughts and emotions, the power of our feelings, and that everything, again, is valid. If your kid is upset about the first day of school, absolutely talk about it. But don't feed the fears. Don't feed the fears. Encourage them instead. Help them find their superpower, whatever it is. And in helping other people find their superpowers, we realize ours too. So, this feels like I was a little ranty today, so thank you. There is really big emotions right now, right? There's really big emotions as we move into this shift and change, as we evolve and watch our children grow, as we have to, model as a parent in a different way. It is such a gift to be a parent. One that I don't take lightly and that I'm incredibly grateful for each and every day. So yeah, I am sending out so many mommy and dad hugs today. I'm sending out all my mama bear energy to an amazing first day of school for everybody, whether that's teachers, administrators, kids, parents, caregivers, whoever you are. Sending out so much love and so much high vibe for a great, great first day. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful for all of you and getting to share on this platform. If you are interested in some wildly mindful cards, they are a great tool if you have small kids. They are a great tool for us as adults. I love my deck. I've been bringing it to yoga when I teach for my students to grab a card just to connect. They're perfect for a therapist, school teachers, you name it. So there is my plug. Thank you, Allison Pilling, for creating these amazing cards and sharing them with the world. If you are interested in a deck, feel free to reach out to me. I have some here in Hamilton, the area, or I can connect you with Allison and she does ship. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again next week. Bye now.